Russian President Vladimir Putin said after talks with Chinese leader Xi Jinping today that Chinese proposals could be used as the basis of a peace settlement in Ukraine, but that the West and Kyiv are not ready yet.
Безусловно, мы не обошли вниманием ситуацию вокруг.
Of course, we did not ignore the situation around Ukraine. We believe that many of the provisions of the peace plan put forward by China are in agreement with Russian approaches and can be taken as the basis for a peaceful settlement when they are ready for that in the West and Kyiv. However, we see no such readiness from their side, Putin said. Putin accused Western powers of fighting to the last Ukrainian after talks with Xi. Describing his talks with Putin as open and friendly, Xi reiterated China's neutral position on Ukraine and called for dialogue.
我想强调，在乌克兰危机问题上，
I would like to point out that in the Ukrainian settlement, we consistently follow the principles of UN Charter and stand on an objective and unbiased position. We do actively promote reconciliation and resumption of talks. Our stance is based on the very essence of the matter and on the truth. We are always for peace and dialogue. We are firmly standing on the true side of history, Xi said today. China's proposal, a 12-point suggestion calling for a de-escalation and eventual ceasefire in Ukraine, lacks details on how to end the war. The U.S. has been dismissive of the Chinese proposal, given Beijing's refusal to condemn Russia over Ukraine, and says a ceasefire now would lock in Russian territorial gains and give Putin's army more time to regroup. Kyiv has welcomed China's diplomatic involvement, but says Russia must pull its troops out of Ukraine, and has stressed the importance of Ukraine's territorial integrity. Both men signed a series of documents on a strategic cooperation after what Putin describes as successful and constructive talks, showing China is clearly now Russia's most important economic partner. NATO's Secretary General says Xi and Putin's meetings are becoming a pattern as the countries grow closer together.
China and Russia are coming closer and closer. We have to remember that just a couple of weeks, or a few weeks before the invasion last February, President Xi and President Putin met in Beijing, where they signed a joint declaration promising each other a partnership without any limits. And we see how China and Russia are coming closer and closer in the military domain. They have joint exercises, joint patrols, naval and air patrols, in the economic domain and also in the political and diplomatic domain.
Xi's state visit is a major boost to Putin as he squares off against what he sees as a hostile West, bent on inflicting a strategic defeat on Russia. Putin said today that Russia is ready to help Chinese businesses replace Western firms that have left Russia over the conflict in Ukraine. The Chinese leader visiting Moscow days after an international court issued an arrest warrant for Putin over Russia's actions in Ukraine.